Welcome, Shruti, to the Indian Sun. You've just made history by setting a Guinness World Record for naming an incredible 95 airports in 60 seconds, isn't it? One would say
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
one would say that your mind hovers faster than a jet. But tell us, what made you take up
Yeah,
this?
that's
Tell us what made you take up this incredible challenge.
First and foremost, thank you so much for having me today. It's truly my pleasure to be here with you, Indra. And I really appreciate this opportunity. And of course, I'm excited to share my story with the Indian Sun. And I hope my story will encourage at least one person to chase their dreams fearlessly. So, yeah, to start off, basically, I have a wish list.
Hmm.
So, for me, a wish means a future, means a future or the personal goals. So getting featured in a prestigious record book like Guinness World Record had been on my bucket list since 2012.
Hmm.
Ever since one of my mutual friends, Mr. Prajesh Kannan, became a record holder
Hmm.
for memory back in 2013, I guess. So his achievement during my college days deeply inspired me, planting the first seed of this dream of setting a new world, a new record,
Hmm.
rather than breaking an existing one. And at the same time, yeah, I've always had kind of a passion for aviation, kind of an endless curiosity about how these giant machines flying through the thin air. So from the childhood, I always had a dream, it's basically it's kind of a passion for aviation.
Hmm.
So being, growing up in a traditional conservative family with my father was a government teacher who's no more, and my mother was a housewife. So, some of my dreams like this had to take a backseat. Despite being a national topper in high secondary education, I followed the normal conventional Indian career path, like completing my degree in at women's college, then taking an MBA, then stepping into the IT professional world.
Hmm.
But deep down, uh, the dream never faded. It just waited for the right moment to take off.
Hmm.
Then in 2023, a few thought-provoking conversations with someone, along with discussions with a bunch of people here in Australia, reignited my passion for aviation,
Hmm.
and eventually that connected the dots. Then after a week of deep thought, research, and analysis, I stumbled up at the IATA codes. So definitely, it was started as a curiosity, and soon it turned into a challenge. And before I knew it, now I'm here with a
Yeah.
world
So,
record title,
yeah,
and
that's
I'm
so
really
incredible.
happy
So,
about that.
how many months did it take you to prepare? And, memorizing all these different names. I think you mentioned there are more than 1,000 airports in the world, isn't it? And your initial target,
It's
yeah, go
Yeah,
on.
please go ahead.
No, no, and your initial target was more than 93, isn't it? But then you said you felt a bit nervous. But this is, I want to know first about how did you sort of memorize? I mean, obviously you have to have great memory, but then along with great memory, you also have to have that rigor. How many hours did you spend in it, learning all these names?
Yeah. When it comes to the preparation aspect, when I finalized the core idea of attempting
Mm,
a Guinness World Record
mm,
or identifying airport codes, my first step was to check, if anyone had done this before,
mm,
so that I just Googled up.
mm,
Google confirmed that no Guinness record for this title, and then I moved to the next phase of building up a database. So
mm,
I know that there is an official site, iata.org,
mm,
and I've gone through the website, and again, I Googled up. Google confirmed that there are almost maybe more than 17,000 airport codes globally.
mm,
Of course, it was unrealistic to learn them all at one go.
mm,
So again, I was stuck there. And then I had a kind of a thought, and I searched for an aviation map to
mm,
serve as my primary guide.
mm,
And thanks to highpressureaviation.com,
mm,
and there was a map which was created by Pilot Hugo,
mm,
and I just ordered it back in June 2023. and stuck it on my bedroom wall.
Mm,
And, just to ensure that this is my journey ahead,
mm,
a kind of a daily reference and uh, a reminder of my journey ahead. So, like, definitely, it's about it's all about the discipline, right?
mm,
Only discipline can change your life. We
mm,
can get motivated and can improve a day, but
mm,
only discipline and consistent steps can change a life. I
mm,
strongly believe on that aspect. And like everyone, I also faced a lot of challenges before, of developing a kind of a discipline routine
mm.
to manage time, to stay motivated, and to multitask. With a kind of a contract full time job, with handful of projects, parenting my
Yeah, I was going to
toddler,
ask you
and
that. I was going to ask how your professional life, how you balanced, your
yeah.
preparation with your busy professional.
Yeah, that's true. It's I don't, if we really want something, we will try to, make some time for it, right?
Mm,
Essentially, everything happens in our mind first, except for a few involuntary actions.
mm,
But I had to keep up my mental well-being to do all the uphill tasks for the day.
mm,
And the only time I had to dedicate for this training sessions were from 4:35 a.m. in the morning till 7. My work day started at 8:30 a.m.
mm,
And of course, my toddler will wake up at around 7:15. So
mm,
it's like I had to wake up early before my toddler wakes up. So,
mm,
and yes, of course, whenever I got some time, I used to recollect all the codes I've learned for the day, and I created a strategic plan to recollect the codes which I've learned for the last week, so that it's kind of a
mm,
it's kind of course that was a tedious task. I'm not saying that was an
mm.
easy one, but it's like if you really have the commitment,
Yeah.
I strongly believe that we
Yeah,
will find out the way, and we take time for that.
yeah, I guess it boils down to that because personally I find memorizing so hard. So I'm just wondering how you remembered all those names in and how you could name 93 airports in 1 minute. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's 95.
It's
Yeah.
like such rigor,
So
rigor,
actually,
rigor, isn't it? Yeah. Mm,
yeah, true. So basically, yeah, still I'm confirming that I haven't learned all the 70,000 codes yet, but it's all about I created almost 5,000, close to 5,000
mm,
airport codes in an Excel sheet. So
mm,
to train myself, I utilized the CRAM flashcards, which
mm,
which is available online,
mm,
wherein you can create flashcards. And I had to manually update the code so that I can
mm,
use it wherever I go. And
mm.
there is an application so that I can download it on my phone. So it's like it is available
Yeah. So
wherever I go. I can
yeah, so
check, I
as
can memorize.
as part of your practice, did you also make it alphabetically? Then it's easier.
Kind of yes, because I tried all the permutations and combinations to make that work for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And you keep with
it's,
your own
yeah, the
formula.
first and foremost, yeah, the first and foremost was to build a database, then to transform, or to transpose those details into some kind of a thing, like for example
Mm.
flashcards, or some kind of a thing where I can see it whenever I move around,
Yeah.
something like that. So I use the printouts, spreadsheets, flashcards, the visual techniques like the brain mapping, the mnemonics. And of course, I also played a few applications or a few games like Reaction Test Time,
Mm.
the Peak, Chess, and the Cognifit to sharpen my focus and memorization. As we know, this is a time bound challenge, and I had to focus on my reaction time. Because technically speaking, I had to identify at least one airport code within a second.
Mm.
Yeah. So it
Mm.
was like 95. I identified 95. Technically speaking, I identified 100, but that's okay. They
Yeah.
deemed five as unclear. That's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so even if it was 100 or 95, whatever. Technically speaking, I had to identify at least two airport codes within a fraction of a second.
Oh my
So
God.
then only I
Yeah.
would be,
So it must have
yeah.
been so quick. It must have been the lightning speed, isn't it? Uh, And then
Yeah, of course
and
it
then
has to be.
yeah,
Otherwise, I would be.
and then you said you had two independent judges to judge you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, a few of my interviews in the media, the Guinness team rejected my first two, three applications because like I mentioned, this is a new world record, and I'm the one who proposed this proposal, and of course that should align with their guidelines and the procedure
Standard.
before approving. Yeah, this thing. So yes, they rejected my first three applications. First, I tried to let them know that I can identify this much, like more than 2,000 codes in,
Yeah.
something
But
like that. They
what were the
rejected that.
grounds for
Then
refusal? The first two instances.
yeah. So yes, they told me that maybe you can identify it, but when it comes to a challenge perspective, it should be competitive enough to set up as a challenge. So then I drilled it down to 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I
Mm.
can identify 250 and kind of a 300 airports.
Mm.
That also get rejected. Then the third one was I just again tweaked it down to 1 minute challenge,
Mm.
so that I can identify was something like 60 or 65. At that time, I was able to identify 60 or 65 when
Mm.
I applied for the record, and yeah, at that moment they accepted. Now they consider that as a challenge, so that someone else can also
Okay.
try this out.
Okay.
Something
Oh,
like that.
so that
And
means
then
yeah.
after,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you set your own records in many ways, in the sense that the first one you had to challenge Guinness team, and the second one you set this record.
Yeah.
So now the challenge is open for someone to challenge you, your own challenge.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I know you've
Yeah, it's funny.
yeah
I was in the
you
middle of challenges. Yeah.
I know you're obviously very happy. You've made history. Like you have now after this another sort of ambition to set a record of in the same field or elsewhere.
Uh, right. See, this idea just came up to my mind after having a conversation with a bunch of people.
Mm.
Yes, I really believe that that was kind of a destiny, because
Mm.
even though I had this dream back in 2012,
Mm.
I wasn't sure, when, how, what exactly I would do. So I really believe on the destiny thing, because it just happened. Of course, I had this dream to be
Mm.
there in this
Mm.
prestigious book of records, but something happened at the right time, at the right moment, and I just picked all these things up, and it
Yeah.
just happened. So
Yeah.
right now, my of course it was there on my wish list, and right now I don't have any plan to break or set a new world record as such,
Mm.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, I
Yeah.
don't have anything
Yeah,
set up for
it's okay.
yeah, on that one.
You can
Yeah.
for now enjoy the adulation and all the congratulations coming your way. And I also I think read where you said that you always wanted to set an example that anything is achievable. What message do you have for people who have similar dreams?
Yeah, the message is like, if you're struggling with failure right now, don't let it define you. Because
Mm.
I know what it feels like when your dreams seem to slip through your hands. Because my first attempt was disqualified with an objectionable reason, and I know how it would feel when everything you worked for seems to disappear in an instant, and like when you feel like you have given everything and yet it's still not enough. But let me tell you this: failure is just a detour, not a dead end. If you refuse to stop, if you keep finding ways forward, definitely you will get there.
Mm.
And of course, my mother was right. She was my inspiration. She was my supporter, and she compelled or forced me to try it again. Go for it. Even if they disqualify this attempt, just try again. This time you'll get it.
Mm.
Some kind of an unwavering faith.
Mm.
So like it basically, I really happy
Mm.
that she was there. She was my well wisher, my supporter,
Mm.
ever, my partner in crime in one way or the other.
Mm.
So, the message I would like to share is
Mm.
like, the only real failure is giving up.
Mm.
So never ever give up. Always keep up your momentum. Always try to bring yourself up,
Mm.
and don't let failure define you.
Yeah, some very wise words there, Shruti. Thank you so much for sharing with
Yeah, yeah.
us.